They got this crusty ass old lady who could summon spirits of the dead to somehow summon his soul, then smooch the nigga.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna talk about, bro. They brought this man, they somehow contacted this man's soul and put it in this body, this brand new body. How?
Damn it, my boy! Not gonna lie, I was actually pretty shocked they actually decided to kill off a major side character like Retsu. And then I became even more shocked to figure out that this nigga got isekai'd into a spin-off manga.
What? Hold on. Okay, no. Okay, no. Repeat that to me one last time, please.
Actually pretty shocked they actually decided to kill off a major side character like Retsu. And then I became even more shocked to figure out that this nigga got
isekai'd into a fantasy world.
Isekai'd into a spin-off manga.
What is happening in this anime? New video from CJ Dachamp. Miyamoto Musashi exposed the Baki universe. Bro, the shit that I've seen in this show, I can't even explain it. It's just, there is so much shit that doesn't make sense. But the way they explain it, you know, it kind of makes sense. You want to believe it makes sense, but it doesn't. People in this show are straight up defying logic and physics mid-fight. I want to talk about this character so bad, but I'm sure CJ's gonna do a way better job than me. Baki is literally the perfect anime that you just want to watch and turn your brain off. But yeah, let's see it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Today, this is gonna be one of them videos where I'ma just keep it a buck with you. What you're about to witness is 30 minutes of pure, unadulterated, nonsensical chaos that is going to make absolutely no sense. And have you wondering, how the hell is even half of this shit possible? And my answer
imagine someone that never watched Baki is watching this video.
To you is, I don't know either. I'm just here to show you the most insane depiction of a real life historical.
This is a real person, bro. This is a real life person. And it's like, why am I surprised? They put Barack Obama in Baki, Mike Tyson, and now this guy. Do you think Obama watched Baki? Probably not, but shit.
Go figure that they put in the anime. So, without further ado.
Hey, new intro. I like it.
As we know in the world of Baki, there's a lot of absurd shit that happens in this universe that makes absolutely no sense. I mean, the last time I covered a Baki character, I was talking about a butt booty naked resurrected 7-foot caveman. But I ain't gonna lie, I didn't think it could.
Spoiler alert, by the way. There's some stuff that I want to talk about, but I'm not gonna talk about it yet. Let's just go through the video. And yeah, when it happens, I'm gonna put my take on it.
Get crazier than that. I mean, what could possibly top resurrecting a primitive nigga that fought dinosaurs for fun? Well,
I legit thought that was
resurrecting the greatest swordsman in human history.
Like, they straight up created a human.
Somehow figured out a way to resurrect Musashi Miyamoto, the most legendary samurai in history.
Like, bro, they didn't just create him. It's not like he's a clone. They straight up, bro.
Hey, nigga.
He's gonna talk about it. I bet you he's gonna mention it. Watch.
Who went undefeated in duels with a whopping record of 60-0.
Damn!
These are not anime numbers. These are actual real numbers.
Facts. Actual facts.
Step to this nigga back in the feudal Japan era, there was a 100% chance yo ass was dying. Bro was not the dude to be fucked with. Now, how they resurrected him is one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. They went to his grave and dissected his spinal tissue so they could make a clone of him. And when the
he's a fucking dinosaur
clone was finally fully grown, they got this crusty ass old lady who could summon spirits of the dead to somehow summon his soul, then smooch the nigga.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna talk about, bro. They brought this man, they somehow contacted this man's soul and put it in this body, this brand new body. How? This is an anime about fighting. One other thing that they mentioned in the anime is how he was at the Battle of Sekigahara, which is a real thing that actually happened. I'm like, what?
To transfer his soul into the clone's body, bringing him back to life. Now, does that make a lick of sense?
No.
No. But guess what? It's Baki, so who gives a crazy stuff happens in this universe.
Like I said, bro, you watch the show, turn your brain off, and just enjoy it at this point.
Every day. This is normal at this point. Now,
Hey,
when bro
yo.
woke up and they took him out into the world, he basically had the Captain America waking up out the iceberg moment. But
Yeah, except, you know, he's not white. So he's not gonna be racist. I'm just joking.
10 times more brutal, because Cap was just asleep for 70. Musashi's been dead for 400 years. So this dude thought he was on a whole different planet. This nigga was terrified of riding in a car and was in complete shock when he rode an elevator for the first time. He had no clue what the hell was going on because the world just completely changed for him. But one thing that didn't change was that in this era, niggas still loved to fight, and Musashi loved to fight. So with that being said, let's start to go through this gauntlet that this man ran. Because this dude damn near embarrassed the entire cast.
Oh, Retsu. Let's just wait for his turn.
So the first man to get embarrassed by Musashi was Mr. Sabu, and he was known as the best swordsman in modern day Japan. So his first fight was basically the strongest swordsman in history versus the strongest swordsman of today.
Now, what he did to him was just purely disrespectful.
Versus Gojo type shit. However, the way Musashi did Mr. Sabu was so absurdly ridiculous. It made all the modern day swordsmen look like a bunch of frauds walking around with butter knives. Cause Musashi beat this man without even lifting a finger. You see, when dude walked up to him, he quite literally felt this nigga cut him down and kill him a total of 7 times in his mind. Dude lost the fight before it even started.
He just looked at him and felt like he was getting cut.
Dead ass gave up. And he straight up admitted that if he actually went through with this fight, he would have basically just thrown his life away for nothing. So after Mr. Sabu gave up, Musashi decided to add more salt to the wound and embarrass this dude to a degree of no recovery. He asked Mr. Sabu if he could see his swords so he could inspect them. So when he gave Musashi his swords and he started to inspect them, he basically told Mr. Sabu, as expected, these swords are utter garbage, my nigga.
He just said, yeah, those ain't shit, nigga.
So he ends up swinging his swords.
Those ain't shit.
End up breaking because they could not withstand the sheer force of Musashi's swing. And after he broke his swords, he told him, "These cannot be called swords, young one. How do you expect these toys to kill someone when they can't even survive a simple swing?"
He didn't just break the swords. He just fucking tore them into pieces.
Expect these toys to kill someone when they can't even survive a simple swing. And after bro heard that, his whole life basically just flashed in front of his eyes, because this was the moment in his life where he just straight up learned that he wasn't built for this shit. So he picked up the scraps of his broken blades and left, having to take a long walk of shame all the way back home.
Like,
so
bro, how you gonna have, he just took his swords, broke them, and said, yeah, bro, those ain't shit, and walked away. What did he do to deserve that?
His whole life dream and sword shattered. The next character to get embarrassed was none other than the main character himself, Baki. And I'ma be so real, I haven't seen Baki get embarrassed like this since he fought Yujiro for the first time. Like, this nigga got done dirty. So here's how this went down. Baki ends up going over to Tokugawa.
I thought the battle against Pickle was embarrassing. This is worse. This is actually worse. The way what he did to him was insane.
House to confront this overwhelming aura he's been feeling uneasy about. And the person with that overwhelming aura was Musashi. So when Baki finally felt this man's aura near him, he threw a Pele kick, but his leg got cut off. Now, I ain't gonna lie, this was a pretty good psych gotcha nigga ass moment, cause he actually didn't get his leg cut off. It was all in his head. Musashi literally pulled up for 1 second, and his presence made him get stuck in a genjutsu. And the wildest part about it is that he still felt the pain of his leg getting cut off. So when Baki looks up from the ground, he sees Musashi standing over him and staring a hole into his soul. And the difference of what they saw when they stared at each other was just insane. When Baki looked at Musashi, he saw a mushroom cloud from a nuke, just pure destruction. But when Musashi looked at Baki, all he saw was free eats. It was Thanksgiving for this nigga. Nigga looked at him like a plate that you get at a family function that your grandma made.
He said, oh, I'm finna eat.
Yams, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread. This nigga was free food. So they ended up going outside to run the ones. And this is where Baki just got completely embarrassed. Baki went in for a kick, but Musashi gripped his ankle and lifted him
by his leg,
like he was playing with a toy. Then he started to grip his ankle so.
Do you know how strong you gotta be to hold a whole other person by its leg in the air?
His ankle started to.
The last time this happened, I think it was Yujiro who just started swinging him around like a fucking nunchuck.
Shatter while he was holding him up midair. Then he whips him behind his back and says, "Let's find out if he'll break." So he uses Baki's body like he would swing a sword and slams him on the ground, shutting his lights out.
Damn!
This right here might go down as one of the most absurd moments of all time. He grabbed the main character, yes, the main character of the show, picked him up like he was a toy, and used him as a human sword to see if he could survive his swing.
Basically knocked him out in one hit.
One of the most mind-boggling, insane things I've seen. So Baki ended up taking a pretty good long nap after this. But when he woke up, he decided that he wanted to run the ones one more time. Now, I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, but hey, if you've taken
he didn't learn his lesson from Pickle, apparently.
His life, the CTE demons in your head just take over at some point, I guess. So Baki comes out for round 2 and immediately throws a jab at Musashi to catch him off guard. And Baki actually drops Musashi to a knee for a second because he actually had him stunned.
He actually had a good hit.
Just straight up tells Baki, "Yeah, so I saw that jab coming the whole time, and I could have just dodged it, but I decided to eat it." And Baki was just
I just decided to eat it, honestly.
This dude basically just told him to his face that I just saw your fastest attack coming, and I decided to let you hit me so you can get a little morale boost. So to end this fight, Musashi decided to take his actual fighting stance. And in this stance, 2 invisible swords showed up out of nowhere. Now, I don't know where the hell they came from.
Like, bro, this is pure nonsense, and it's just, I love it.
But my guess is that he just conjured them up out of his aura or some shit. So Baki goes in to attack him, but Musashi grabs his punch and stops him before he could even throw it.
This is the same shit that happened with Yujiro and the fucking invisible food or whatever was happening. I sound like a fucking crazy person saying this. The invisible food? What am I saying?
Then he uses his invisible mind sword to cut Baki down the middle and make his nervous system
mind sword.
So with one final attempt, Baki tries to hit Musashi one last time, but he blocks it with his foot.
He's standing on his fist
as a bounce pad to land onto the roof. So Musashi looks at Baki on the verge of passing out and tells him, "Wow, you did impressive, little nigga. But I feel like indulging in more fun. Farewell, and thank you for the free meal." And when Musashi leaves, Baki just passes out and gets knocked out again. So after Musashi slumped the main character twice in the same day, the next character to get utterly embarrassed was everyone's favorite bald nigga with an eye patch, Doppo Orochi. Now the reason Doppo even knew Musashi was resurrected and back in the first place was because earlier that day, Musashi was on the news for beating up like 4 cops at once, and it was all caught on security cam footage. The first dude tried to get behind him and put him in a rear naked, but this nigga grabbed his nuts and crushed them into smithereens. Look at the way he falls clutching where his testicles once were. This brother just got his manhood taken in 4K for the whole world to see on national news. Then he walks up to the next cop. The cop tried to swing but instantly got his baton snatched, and Musashi stares him straight in the face and slices him down the middle with his baton.
Like,
yes,
bro,
your eyes do not deceive you. This nigga used a baton as a sword. And look at him on the ground. The nigga's having a seizure. Then the last 2 tried to jump him, but they both got air sliced and dropped as well. Now,
if you blink, you missed it.
This is what Doppo saw on the news. And being the crazy ass nigga he is, he saw that and he wanted to fight him to see if he was the real deal or not. So when they stood off from one another, Tokugawa asked Doppo to introduce himself to Musashi. So Doppo decides to introduce himself by breaking shit and showing off. He started punching through cinder blocks, slicing glass bottles with his hands, and then kicking a block of wood cleanly in half. After this, he just floated in the air and tried to ore farm as much as he possibly could before gravity finally took him. Now, after seeing that, any regular person would be impressed. But Musashi looked at him when he was finished and was like, was that supposed to be martial arts or a dance, my nigga?
Bro called his martial arts.
So when Doppo heard him say it was a dance, this pissed him off to the max, because Musashi just flat out disrespected his craft. So they squared up against each other, and these boys were ready to throw down. So Doppo decides to attack first with a headbutt, but Musashi does one of the most disrespectful things you could ever do to a ball nigga. He palmed his head like a basketball.
He's Michael Jordan his shit, bro. When I saw that, I was like, no, there's no fucking way he lets that slide. How are you gonna let him Michael Jordan? Nah, bro, to a ball dude too?
Dog. The thing that gets me the most is that he really started rubbing his chrome dome like he was polishing a bowling ball. So Doppo bags up and Musashi takes his fighting stance, where he has his air swords drawn out again. So he goes into attack and Doppo parries the first sword, but his other sword came down.
He parries the first sword. The sword that is non-existent, mind you. There's nothing in his hand.
So he goes into attack and Doppo parries.
What did he parry? There's nothing to parry.
The first sword, but his other sword came down and ended up slicing him. And Doppo is screaming, thinking that he actually got hit. But then Musashi started laughing at him. And when Doppo finally realizes that he actually didn't get hit by a sword, Musashi was just staring at him, fist cocked back and loaded. And he told him, "See, I told you, it's just all a dance, my nigga," and rams his fist into Doppo's face. Now, while he was rocked, Doppo decided to at least save some of his ore. So he stops himself and recovers into a one-handed handstand. I'll give it to bro.
He needed to ore farm one last time.
Absolutely washed in this fight. Doppo made sure this ass whooping would not result in any type of ore loss. Bro got his bald head rubbed and knew he had to make up some points. So Doppo, being Doppo and letting his CTE take over, decided, you know what? I want you to get a real sword so I can fight you at your full strength. So Tokugawa gives Musashi a sword that can actually withstand the power of his swing.
That's bright.
And this ends up leading up to one of the most absurd KOs in anime history. So Musashi kept on talking shit to Doppo, telling him, oh, you ain't no god of martial arts and all you doing is dancing and shit. So Doppo got mad and tried to rush him.
Bro's rage baiting.
Swung his sword into Doppo's face and slammed him into the ground, knocking him out cold. And he didn't even cut him. This nigga somehow held back enough strength while also putting out enough to knock a nigga out cold without the blade even splitting him open. That shit is the most absurd way to knock a nigga out. This isn't even remotely.
This is a sharp katana. He straight up sat there talking about, oh yeah, I didn't cut you. I simply pressed and gently pushed. That's why you didn't get cut. What?
Possible. This nigga Doppo should have been looking like Mecha Frieza when he pulled up to Earth. Split in two right down the middle. And then this nigga wakes up after getting knocked out like, well, damn, looks like he's the real deal. My brother in Christ, you should be talking to God right now. Now, the next cast member to get exposed actually did talk to God, and that was Retsu.
Oh, Retsu, goddamn, bro. Oh, poor Retsu.
Now, Retsu wanted to fight Musashi.
It's crazy because he was one of my favorite characters.
Because he was bored with being a boxer due to dominating every person he fought. Also, he was tired of only being able to use his fist. So when this dude heard about Musashi, he immediately vacated his championship and said, I'm going to Japan, my nigga, because he wanted to challenge him to a fight. But not just to a regular fight. Retsu challenged this man to a fight to the death. This nigga wanted to have Mortal Kombat with Musashi. Now, I don't know why the hell you want to have a fight to the death with a samurai whose record is 60-0 in fights to the death.
I don't know
we all like a little stupid sometimes.
Why would you do
I
that?
went to a Chick-fil-A one time when I was baked and asked for a burger, and I'm not kidding. This was a true story. So this fight was basically fights to the death. But hey, we all like a little stupid sometimes. Hell, I went to a Chick-fil-A one time when I was baked and asked for a burger. And I'm not kidding.
What?
This was a true story. So this fight was basically like a WWE no-holds-bars Extreme Rules match.
Story time with CJ the Champ.
Swords, nunchucks, tables, ladders, chairs, you name it, you could use it. Except for guns, because that's just flat out cheating. And you know what the crazy thing is? They did this in front of a live crowd. These niggas dead ass got off of their 9 to 5.
This is straight up a battle to the death with a live crowd against a man that has been doing 60 duels, 60-0, hasn't lost a single time.
I've been said, hey, you wanna go see a nigga die? Oh, hell yeah, bro.
You wanna see a nigga die?
Is that not insane to y'all?
What kind of question is that?
They treating this shit like the Colosseum.
No, actually, what kind of question is that? Hey, you want to see a nigga die? Like, what?
Seeing back in the Roman Empire. But anyways, the gong goes off and combat begins. So Retsu immediately rips off his jacket, and inside of it, it was loaded with at least 100 kunai in there. So Retsu just starts to PK fire the knives at Musashi. But Musashi started to dodge every single knife.
He's just dodging like he has Ultra Instinct, bro. Like,
he even started catching them. Then to really just show how much of a different level he was on compared to Retsu, bro decided to cut the last kunai in half. So when Retsu finally ran out of ammo, he decided that his next best move was to use his shirt as a weapon. So this man starts to swing his shirt around, and it was sending a bunch of sand, dust, and teeth into this man's face.
Oh my, bro, the fact that he hasn't flinched.
But this is the moment where I myself realized that this dude was just built different. He let this shit fly in his face without even closing his eyes. He didn't even.
A piece of tooth just plunged itself into his eyeball, and he didn't even flinch. It's like he didn't even notice.
Didn't blink once. He just stood there and took it. Bro had a whole rock fly into his eye.
That ain't no rock, bro. That is a tooth.
And he didn't even flinch. He was stone-faced the entire time. And when Retsu's attack was finally over, all he did after it was just shake everything off like nothing happened. And he called Retsu a child for throwing rocks and pebbles at him. So when Retsu was finally done spamming projectiles, Retsu decides to throw his shirt at him. And Musashi ends up cutting it in half. But this was a feint by Retsu, because after Musashi cuts the shirt, he gets clocked in the forehead by a 9-section whip and got dropped. So it seems that Retsu's plan this whole fight was to not let Musashi get close to him at all. He was going to have to zone him the entire fight, because if he let Musashi get close to him with his sword, he was a dead man. So while Retsu was swinging his whip at mock speeds, Musashi decided to mob Retsu.
It's like, bro, he knew if he gets close, he's just gonna get cut down. Why would you accept this fight if you knew the danger?
Again, he puts down his sword and lets Retsu attack him. So Retsu came in swinging, but Musashi dodged all the hits and grabbed both of the whips to make him stop. And
look at his face. Look at his fucking face.
Musashi dodged all the hits and grabbed.
Look at his face, bro. He is unimpressed. He's not worried.
Whips to make him stop and bag back without his weapons. Then Musashi looked at the chains and called them toys that can't kill anyone. Then decided to swing both of them like a sword and snap the chains like they were made out of wood. Now this right here was just straight up demoralizing to Retsu, because he trained with that specific weapon since he was a kid, and Musashi literally picked it up for the first time, called them toys, and snapped them in half. Bro just made all of his life work feel meaningless in the matter of seconds. So after Musashi did this, he did one of the cockiest things I've ever seen. He throws his sword at Retsu and says, "Why don't you give it a try? It's simple. All you gotta do is swing."
That is So
Retsu, feeling
disrespectful.
absolutely disrespected by this, decides to just smack Musashi with his sword hilt multiple times. And when he knocked him down again, he told him, "I am a master of martial arts. Don't ever approach me unarmed again." And after Retsu did this to Musashi, this is when Musashi just became an absolute dick. Because he just started to troll him for the rest of the fight. This nigga deadass threw his sword away, walked up to Retsu and told him, "I've approached you with no weapon, Mr. Martial Artist. Ooh, what shall you do?" So Retsu throws a punch at him, and Musashi catches it. But Retsu pulled out a Bianca Belair move and used his hair as a whip to smack Musashi in the face. Then he kicked him as hard as he physically could to wrap.
Bro, fucking leg is stiff as
Musashi
a board.
in the face. Then he kicked him as
Like, bro, how is he this flexible?
hard as he physically could to rattle his brain and drop Musashi to his knees. Now, when it looked like Retsu was coming to finish him off, Musashi grabbed his peg leg. And this is where Retsu fell into the trap. The same one Baki fell into.
Grabbing the
Musashi
peg leg is
picked
crazy.
him up. This 200-pound plus nigga by the leg.
He's lifting him in the air!
With one
A grown man!
arm, swung his body back all the way and swung
Right, bro, this image is so fucking ridiculous.
him again like a sword, smashing his face into the ground. Now, the most insane thing about this is that Retsu's body recovered and stood up, but he was still out cold. So Musashi had to walk up to him and grab his fist to throw him on the ground to wake him up. And right here is when you can see that
I mean, that's kind of impressive. He landed on his feet while being practically unconscious.
Retsu was just out of it. This nigga had no clue where he was at for a second. He was clearly concussed. And Musashi was just standing over him like, "Get up, little nigga. This doesn't end till one of us are dead."
Get up, little nigga.
So when Retsu's brain finally started to function again, he gets up and starts to attack him. But now he couldn't even land a hit because Musashi started to block every single one of his strikes. So since Retsu was basically downloaded at this point, he had to try some new shit and pull something out of his bag. So he decides to take Baki's fighting stance to see if he can mix him up a little bit. But I don't think bro understood that this was not the move.
It was
because
not.
Baki himself got knocked out. Not once, but twice. So the fuck did bro think that this was gonna accomplish? So Musashi leaps at Retsu with a random sword he picked up and rams the blade right into Retsu's face. Now,
And somehow, he didn't get cut.
this is another moment where a character should be dead. Retsu's face should be split in two right now, but this nigga still has the ability to talk right now because he didn't cut him all the way through. So Musashi tries to finish the strike, but Retsu hits a counter and bicycle kicks Musashi in the face, laying him out on the ground. So it actually looks like Retsu did mad damage to Musashi right here. He looked absolutely stunned and was coughing up blood. So Retsu tries to finish him off with the Bruce Lee into the dragon curb stomp. But all of this was a ruse. Musashi was playing possum the entire time. He caught Retsu mid-air and wrapped the cord that was on his clothes around his neck. Then he continued to wrap up Retsu's entire body until he was wrapped up like a present.
Like, bro, that is so disrespectful.
Pure humiliation at its finest. And look at Retsu.
And he started crying, bro.
Start bawling his eyes out because he knows he's cooked. It's over. The whole crowd knew as well, too. They was like, "Please, Musashi, have mercy. Please don't kill that nigga." But it was too late. Musashi picked up his blade, cut the cord loose and said, "Turn around, nigga." And when Retsu turned around, Musashi's blade came right down the middle. So Retsu tried to counter it like last time, but he ends up getting his peg leg cut off. And when he ended up bagging up, you
barely
knew it
dodged
was
that
over
shit.
because he had a big ass line going straight down his body. Then like 2 seconds later, the wound opens and Retsu's body just explodes with blood. Now this cut actually didn't kill him because it was too shallow. And also apparently Retsu learned some technique that can make him survive a cut of a sword. I don't know, some straight up bullshit.
Yeah, some
narrator
some Baki bullshit, bro.
Trying to gaslight me into believing in, but I guess it worked. So since Retsu is somehow still alive, he decides to prep one
Bro, he's just straight up gushing blood everywhere.
Final move. He got down into the same feral stance that Pickle uses. So Retsu leaps at him and throws a punch, and Musashi cuts right into Retsu's fist.
God, bro.
Retsu planned this so Musashi's sword could get stuck in his fist. So Retsu yelled at this man and said, "I got you." But
he straight up used his fist as a fucking sword.
Musashi looked at him with the classic, "Haha, you fool!" He flash stepped towards Retsu, picked him up, and hit him with an attitude adjustment. Then while he was mid-air, he hit Retsu with a clean strike to the back and cut him clean straight through his body. His organs were slashed clean through and his spine was severed. And after he landed that fatal strike, Musashi turned around and said, "You've done well," and leaves. This time,
like, bro, the amount of shit that we've seen in Baki, the stuff that people survive in this show, you saw people getting stabbed, people getting their bones snapped, their fucking, you saw a character getting shot in the mouth. They survive. People are getting hit in the goddamn head with dumbbells and shit, and everyone survives. But not this time, bro.
It was really over. That bullshit ass technique could only bail him out once. Cause once they started showing Retsu's backstory, you knew damn well it
was GG's.
Was a wrap. So bro fell to the ground, holding his stomach and coughing up blood, and thought to himself in his last moments, "Damn, at least I tried. My only regret in life was not using code CJ for 10% off my subs. If I trucked some of that good shit before this fight, then maybe I wouldn't be getting isekai right now.
Bro, be serious.
Sure to use code CJ in the next life."
Like, bro, his organs should have fell out of his stomach. That's how bad it got. He was one of my favorite characters, mind you.
Fatality.
Damn it, my boy! Not gonna lie, I was actually pretty shocked they actually decided to kill off a major side character like Retsu. And then I became even more shocked to figure out that this nigga got isekai'd into a spin-off manga.
What? Hold on. Okay, no. Okay, no. Repeat that to me one last time, please.
Actually pretty shocked they actually decided to kill off a major side character like Retsu. And then I became even more shocked to figure out that this nigga got
isekai'd into a fantasy world.
Isekai'd into a spin-off manga.
What is happening in this anime? Like, bro, at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if they, like, I don't know, brought him back to life or made a fucking robot android version of Retsu with all his fighting knowledge and shit, and he has to fight Baki or some bullshit. That's deadass something that they would do. Cause what? You're telling me he got Issa? I had no idea this happened. He actually, is this canon? Like,
So I guess we gotta give Musashi an honorary Truck-kun badge or something, cause he
didn't even get Truck-kun, bro. He got sliced open.
Technically boomed a nigga.
That fucking image.
So bad, he got sent to another world.
Why his lips look like that?
So after Musashi isekai'd Retsu, the next dude to get cooked was this random NPC Kendo champion. Now, after the fight with Retsu, Musashi technically did end up getting arrested for killing him, even though they couldn't hold him with handcuffs and they had to call the entire SWAT team just
this reminds me of that one time when Yujiro tried to attack the governor. Very similar scene.
So they could bring him in for questioning, but the police decided not to charge Musashi. They actually wanted to make a deal with him, and the deal was to fight Japan's Kendo champion.
Hey look guys, it's Moist Critical.
Who was this random NPC right here. And this fight lasted a whopping 10 seconds.
If you know, you know.
I'm not even kidding. Musashi just casually walked up to dude, raised his kendo stick, and smacked him on top of the head.
Like, bro, he saw it coming and he just let it happen.
One-shotting him. Every single person in the room just had their jaws dropped because they couldn't believe what they just witnessed. The Kendo champion of Japan got washed in 10 seconds flat.
He didn't even move, bro. He just stood still.
They was all looking at this nigga after he got knocked out like,
"Big dog, you supposed to be our number one." And you're playing like a bum. I bet you better start doing your job.
So after the Kendo champion got one-shotted, the next gonna get exposed was Mr. Shibukawa. Now, Shibukawa wanted to fight Musashi because he straight up tried to spin back for Retsu. This nigga walked up to Musashi after he knocked out the Kendo champ and said he wanted to shake hands with him. So they shook hands. But this was a trap that Shibukawa laid out.
Real quick.
He gripped his hand while using Aikido and it made Musashi fall to the ground. Then Shibukawa looked at him dead in the face and said, "This is for Retsu, nigga," and smashes his face into the ground. Now this was obviously a cheat, but Shibukawa did not care. Bro looked at Musashi when he got up and basically told him,
"Pull up in front of the motherfucking precinct and let's bang out. Right down the block. You know where's that? You studied my whole neighborhood. Or pull up in front of the Kmart and let's bang out and let's do it on camera. I throw my life away and you throw your life away right now. What? I hate you, nigga. Let's die."
So after Shibukawa was talking his shit and was ready to throw his life away, Musashi just smiled at him and was like, "All right, bet." So Musashi speed blitzed bro in 2.5 seconds and cut him down with his air sword. Musashi was so fast, Shibukawa couldn't even react. Bro just had to stand there and take all the pain before he spazzed out. And then when Shibukawa woke up to shake hands with Musashi after the fight, Musashi just decided to mark him one last time. So he gripped his hand as hard as Shibukawa did earlier and mind cut this nigga all over his body after telling him GG's.
All right,
now,
bro.
that was everyone that Musashi just straight up exposed. However, there was one.
I was about to say, bro. I was literally about to say, hold on now. Let's not forget Yujiro, because that fight, now that was a crazy fight.
More character he had an interaction with, and all of y'all should know him very well. It was none other than the most disrespectful man in anime history. Yujiro motherfucking Hanma.
Now you're not gonna disrespect the most disrespectful man in anime history.
A nigga. And ooh, boy, I tell you, I'm surprised the world cataclysmic event didn't happen when these two fought. Because we all know how overpowered Yujiro is in this universe. And we just witnessed how overpowered Musashi is. So the fact that the top two niggas in this verse decided to square off is generally terrifying. I'm surprised they didn't send the government to stop these niggas. But
I legitimately think that Musashi might actually beat Pickle. I'm not sure, because he got his invisible swords, bro. Like, what?
And I really think about it, what?
Hey, I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't know.
What the hell are they gonna do? I mean, hell, Yujiro literally made America his bitch. Now, this is how this confrontation went down. Yujiro wanted to fight Musashi because Motobe straight up said, "I don't believe."
Bro, Motobe, bro, I got beef with Motobe, bro. I got beef with this dude. He's sitting here talking about I need to protect them all. I need to protect Baki, Yujiro. I'm the one who's gonna defeat Musashi. How are you gonna protect the strongest creature on Earth? He even, spoiler alert, but at the end, he even talked about how he needs to defend Pickle. A fucking caveman that just beat the shit out of a crocodile the size of a kaiju. Talk about I need to protect him. Also, bro, the way he disrespected Jack Hanma was just, oh my god, bro.
That you can beat Musashi, and I will be the person to protect everyone. So Yujiro took offense to this, because even though Yujiro's not a swordsman like Motobe, Yujiro is still known as the strongest creature on Earth.
Exactly.
So he went to Tokugawa's house to confront Musashi. Now, the way they got to start fighting was just hilarious. Musashi wanted to see if Yujiro—
He didn't talk about it, but he straight up, bro, he straight up ran after he said that to Yujiro and almost had a panic attack because of how scared he was.
Was like that or not. So he tried to air slice him while Yujiro was just drinking some sake. But this nigga did not even react. Yujiro just straight up looked at him like, "Nigga, did you really think that bullshit was gonna work on me? Fuck wrong with you? Eat a dick, nigga."
He straight up said, yeah, I'm not impressed, bro.
So this man cuts the bottle cap with his finger, and the glass lands on Musashi's forehead and he starts bleeding. Then Yujiro looked at Tokugawa and told him, "Hey, bald nigga, fetch that nigga sword now. Fuck the foreplay. We fighting right here, right now." So they wasted little to no time. They went outside and they were ready to throw down. So Yujiro decides to make the first move. He grabs Musashi's sword with his hand and tells him, "Think fast, Choco Nuts." So he slaps the shit out of this this nigga and sends him flying.
They both started flying.
Is still hanging onto the sword. Like, look at this nonchalant bullshit. He farmed aura mid-attack. And just off of the first hit, he had Musashi looking cross-eyed. So after he got hit with that face palm of doom, this is when Musashi decided to lock in, because he finally had a worthy challenger. So Musashi decides to go on the attack. So he tries to slice him down the middle, but he ended up cutting his leg. Then he tried to slash him again, but
Bro, how often do you see Yujiro Hanma dodge an attack?
Yujiro hits a nasty dodge. Dude jumps like 10 feet in the air and floated there for 5 seconds. And while all this was going on, Tokugawa was watching this, and this nigga looked like he was dead ass about to nut. Bro was on the sidelines like, oh, I can't go.
Nah, bro, he was straight up sitting here talking about some, oh my God. I can't do it.
Tame myself, I'm about to.
Nah, bro, it's actually accurate, bro. He was sort of having a boner when watching these two dudes fight.
I get it, bro. We're watching legends fight right now. But like, damn, bro, pop it out. So after Tokugawa was done glazing, Musashi swung at one of Yujiro's vital points. But Yujiro somehow saw this attack coming. So he dodged to make him miss his vitals, then grabbed Musashi by the wrist and gave him a receipt for that officer that got his balls crushed.
Oh,
Yujiro kicks Musashi in the nuts. Look at the pain this man is in. This kick to the balls by Yujiro was apparently the most pain Musashi's
by
ever
Yujiro
felt in
Hanma.
his life. He said this felt worse than getting shot by an arrow or slashed by a sword. So after Musashi got hit by this, he got up and decided that Yujiro was a worthy opponent to try his secret technique on that nobody's ever seen. So Musashi gives up his swords and decides to fight barehanded. So he starts swinging on Yujiro with his bare hands.
His invisible air swords.
Apparently, this is supposed to be the final form of his air sword attacks. And now this nigga doesn't even need swords because he is now the sword. So when Musashi ends up going in for another attack, Motobe just comes out of nowhere and eats every single hit that Musashi would have landed on Yujiro. Now, obviously, since Motobe did this ended up pissing Yujiro off because he interrupted his fight. I mean, the dude was so mad, he kicked up Motobe's unconscious body and just straight up slapped him. And it got to the point that Musashi had to stop Yujiro himself because Yujiro was about to kill bro. But after this, we end up learning that Motobe actually took one for the team.
He doesn't realize of how, like, he almost died.
Because apparently, if those attacks kept on landing, Yujiro would have died.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
I call cap.
This technique would have actually beaten Yujiro. Not gonna lie, when I first heard it, I couldn't believe it myself.
I call cap.
Because apparently the nigga is stronger with his bare hands than his actual swords. Now, I don't know how the hell that makes any sense, but it's
I call cap, bro.
Baki, so I'm not asking questions. I'm just here for the nonsensical chaos.
Didn't Yujiro survive like a nuke when he was 16 years old? Like, this man eats explosions for breakfast, and you're telling me whatever attack he was about to use, that would have killed him. Yeah, I don't believe it, bro. I call cap. Also, Motobe doesn't realize that he almost died like 3 times in such a short amount of time.
He is stronger with his bare hands than his actual swords. Now, I don't know how the hell that makes any sense, but it's
I call
Baki, so
cap.
I'm not asking questions. I'm just here for the nonsensical chaos. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is quite possibly one of the craziest videos I've ever done. And apparently part 2 is coming out later this year. And I'm hearing people say that he's supposed to be going on a rampage. So let me know.
Damn. I mean, shit, I didn't read the manga, but that shit looks crazy.
Craziest videos I've ever done. And apparently part 2 is coming out later this year. And I'm
He's fighting the police?
hearing people say that he's supposed to be going on a
The fuck did they do to deserve that?
rampage. So let me know if you want to see that. And hell, I'll probably give a round table verdict at the end of it. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And let me let y'all know this right now. The day I'm finishing this up right now, I just saw Mark get literally dug in. So,
yeah.
I might give y'all a little mini Invincible video next week. But anyways, I'm out.
Oh, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that, bro. Nah, bro. Musashi Miyamoto is... He was made for the Bakiverse. Talk about some, he's stronger without swords because he has invisible swords that are just in the air, but technically it's not in the air. They're here, but they're not here. And it's... Oh, okay. Yeah, that's enough of that. Baki is just... It makes no sense, but you just gotta love it. You just gotta love it, bro. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Also, y'all, we are getting closer and closer to 8,000 subscribers. This is a big goal for me. I'm getting closer and closer to my 10K goal. So please, anyone, if you're new to my channel, if this is the first video that you see of me, please check out my other videos. I got some good stuff in there I'm sure you'll like. Hopefully I make you laugh, make you stick around for more. Yeah, just think about that. So yeah, you know, just check out my other stuff. With that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Peace out!